taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut season off top, you stop breathing.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for this afternoon, Pat Scorpio, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do is Shuttleworth the God, aka the GOAT Artist, LB, that I mean, ringgangradio.com in the building. We in here.
Yes, sir. Ring Gig in the house forever and always, and as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna need him to introduce himself.
Yo, what's good, y'all? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Box in the building. Ring Gang Radio all day. Let's go.
Yes, sir. And of course, you know, as I gotta ask you, man. So, who this week, man? Who's barred from the bodega? Is there anyone that needs to be mentioned?
I don't think anybody's got hit with the ban, but I do think a certain Dominican needs to tread lightly going forward. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah. But he's just on watch. He's watch, not banned yet. Just on the watch list.
We're and I'm sure we will get to him and discussing this particular Dominican shortly. Because yeah, I got some bars for him too. And last,
damn, like hold on, y'all gotta ease off the Dominicans. I mean, because this Dominican shorty like really hooked up my silk press for the funeral. Like I was really like. Looking good out there, man. Stunting, so I don't know.
Well, we're not saying Dominican hairstylist. She can come to the bodega.
Yeah, we're just talking old flabby Dominicans. Like, Dominicans that when they take their shirt off, you could push their stomach and they'll go, hoo-hoo! Those type of
people. Word. Okay.
And last but certainly not least, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's fly? It's Conscious Pod, aka the West Coast Avenger, #1 contender, preparing for liftoff. Destination Ring Gang Radio.
Yes, sir. Conscious Pod, stay elevating above the clouds. You dig? So yeah, we had a little interesting weekend of boxing. Like I say, usually I think right now, all the pound for pound fights, we've had so many of them. So now pretty much we're in the quiet phase. Until I think most likely Usyk and Joshua too in another month or so. Although we haven't heard an undercard yet, something that's on the undercard and everything, just that this fight's happening. Typical Eddie, right? So, but yeah, there was a card on Friday night for Top Rank, where the main event was Arnold Barboza Jr. and Danielito Zorrilla. Like I said. Nothing wrong with the fight on paper. It was, like I said, the matchmaking was good on that one. Like Top Rank, like I said, we mentioned before, Top Rank, if the main event is good, then the undercard is usually depending on, the situation. But the fight itself, though, on paper was difficult because one thing that Top Rank really went in on, too, among other things, is they really focused in on 140 and like how important this was for these two. Like if they win, then yeah, get them one step closer to the 140 belt. Because since Tyler unasked 2 of the belts he had, so it's like 2 more belts and like bam, Barboza might be 1 or 2 for one of them. But before we get into that fight though, I gotta say though, one thing that the commentary for Top Rank, like they got loose that night. Like they were saying whatever the fuck they want to say. Timmy, all of them. But the one thing that I found that was kind of like, I was like, I couldn't help but agree with them, is like when they started going in on Tank, like they sounded like us in a way.
They laid it on Tank.
Hold on, wait. What were these niggas saying, yo? Like
it was like a pound for pound discussion list they were doing, and they were just going through their bullshit list, and then yeah, Tank.
I mean, they basically, I think, first of all, like, Timmy was like, how do why is Tank on there, but Jamel Charlo is not? And then they really went into Tank, like, yeah, he's not fighting nobody, he's being handcuffed. Like they really went in, like mentioned that he was handcuffed, he's not fighting nobody, none of that shit. Like I was like,
but hold on, was Lomo on that list?
Yes, of course, and they mentioned it too. Like someone mentioned, yeah, he shouldn't be on there too. That's why I was like some of them really got candid like that. I was like, oh damn, like they really like the list was bullshit, but they were really critiquing their own that list like real crazy like.
They had to, because honestly, like this is new boxing media.
Yeah.
Everybody made such a big deal about it earlier, you know, with Jamel Charlo, Canelo, all of that. And it's like, if no one spoke on it, it would just be admitting that old boxing media was wrong.
Right.
And they'll be justifying it. So they had to speak on it, especially if someone mentioned Lomachenko doesn't need to be on there, because he doesn't. Like, him and Tank are top 20. You know, obviously Lomachenko's done more, but
yeah,
we talking about who's done more recently, and you could make the case that Tank's opponents have been in their prime and they're young fighters where, you know, they haven't really been anybody's leftovers. The Lomachenko, yeah, these guys world class, but
they were also champions too. Well, one of them was champion.
yeah, but then it's like, you know, you beating up leftovers.
Right. Well, in this particular case, I mean, Lomachenko, the one leftover, he was the first one to stop him. You know, and he's come out in the end. You know,
stop him, bop him. Like, who cares? Like, like you stopping somebody that, you know, we didn't want to see you stop. And this is, look, man. You want to give me a good Lomachenko fight that's under the radar, that no one will talk about. It'll never get made, but it'll be better than any Lomachenko fight besides Stevenson or Haney. Give me Lomachenko and Zepeda.
Yeah.
William Zepeda, fuck that. That's a good fight.
I mean, Jose Zepeda.
Jose Zepeda, stop. Yeah, I said a good fight, not a mismatch. Word. I don't think Lomachenko beats Jose Zepeda.
Yeah, but William Zepeda, yeah, that would be, yeah, oh yeah, that would be.
That would be a good fight, and Lomachenko be the favorite, but you know William gonna fucking bring it.
Exactly, but I just felt like it was just like they were, and you know, because you know Top Rank had a lot of the pauses in between like the fights and shit like that, so that's why I was just like crazy. That's why I was just crazy. Like they were really going in.
Did you see the Richard Torres knockout? That was a horrible stoppage.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was quick, and then the referee was like, hold on, wait a minute, nah, this shit is over. Like, nah, like can't be.
That was weak. Yeah, that was weak.
Yeah, that was so basically, yeah, it was your typical, you know, like one thing Top Rank does is, yeah, they have the prospects, but unfortunately, like I say with the prospects, like they match it, like, you know, they're not gonna match them tough. So yeah, the prospects are gonna, you know, they gotta get their jobbers or job boys or whatever, and then they're gonna do what they gotta do and keep the shit moving.
Yeah. Well, not really moving because they be milking the fuck out of in between fights.
Yeah, well, funny thing too is Torres, though, the turnaround, they already announced his next fight.
Oh,
he's
shit.
fighting, I think he's fighting next month or some shit on the I forgot what card, because I got the email in the ringing email that the Pedraza Kome card. Yeah, he's gonna fight on that.
He's gonna be on that too. That's dope.
Yeah, it's next month. Yeah, so but yeah, it was just like crazy, like the whole them going in on Tank like that, and I expected Tank to actually say something, but him or Leonard Ellaby Leonard Ellaby was kind of spinning some nonsense again.
He always is.
Yeah, he on Twitter about that.
I mean, he be saying some real shit sometimes, bro. He be making his points.
I mean, that tweet is kind of true, but whatever. I mean, in a sense, it is kind of true, but sadly.
But then all they're doing is just pretty much vindicating what they just said about Tank.
Hold on, what's the tweet?
That the all of 135 goes through Tank.
If they want to get paid, that's kind of a true statement. Either Tank or Ryan Garcia. You're gonna, and it's more likely Tank because he's pay-per-views and he's selling out.
The buy gate, the gate sales and all that. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I got no problem with that statement because if that's the case,
and of course I do
make these fights.
And of course, I criticize Tank a lot on this competition lately. So when I hear stuff like that and what he's fighting is things aren't the math isn't mathing to me. So yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not fucking.
I mean, this is the thing. It looked like they trying to make the Tank Garcia fight. That's literally one of the top 5 fights in boxing to make easily 1 million pay-per-view buys if they sell it on pay-per-view. And it's going to come up with lightweights or, junior welterweight because, I think Ryan Garcia was talking about 140. That makes 140 even like crazier.
Not in my. I mean, I'll definitely go into my views on the whole 140 shit.
I know, cause you be the grumpy old man shit. That's.
Hell no. There are real niggas fighting at 140. Like that's
now you can have two more real niggas.
Yeah,
but I know you like what Ryan Garcia, get the fuck out of here.
No,
them punches are real.
Yeah, trust me. I'll go into my 140 thoughts. You know, but right, Barboza and Zorrilla, like I said, I'll say this, like I said, Barboza, like I said, you look at his record, like damn, dude, I think dude's like maybe like working like there's no frills, like straight up and down, you get what you get. Like dude is tough, you know, he boxes when he needs to.
Throws a lot of punches.
He's like the epitome of Mexican American style.
Yeah.
No, I said he throws a lot of punches.
Yeah, but he was actually boxing, and Zorrilla, for whatever reason, wasn't throwing as much. But every time he threw and landed, Barboza was stunned by that shit. Like, you know, it's just like, and Zorrilla, you know, clearly had power. He does have power, but I don't know if he just was too. He was just too hesitant for at least 2/3 of the fight, and letting Barboza just box him and, you know, get off first. But in the last part of the fight, though, he started letting his hands go, and you know, and Barboza was starting to catch some heat, like, you know, from him, you know. But it was just like I said, it's just one of those things. It was just like, you know, you could have done this maybe in mid-fight or whatever to get the cards a little closer, you know. But, you know, winning the last couple of rounds is just like, you know, you pretty much, you know, it was not good strategy to, you know, try to get a late round knockout on Arnold Barboza like that.
He gets another TV.
Barboza was still getting hands put on him low key though, even before the final rounds. It just wasn't being done enough.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and that was like, I was just like, God damn. I mean, I think this is where I kind of realized, and I think a lot of boxing Twitters realized, like, you know, Barboza, he has a ceiling, and you know, I don't think he's ever gonna get past it. I mean, like, to me, like, in order for him to, I mean, he may become a champion, but I do think now it's mostly because it depends how the cards get dealt for him in terms of getting.
And I mean, with at 140, there's a lot of killers in that division that I don't know if he can get past, like, to get to the title picture. I don't see him getting past a lot of those guys. Hell, I think Kenneth Sims beats him. If they were to fight, Kenneth Sims would win.
He was ducking Sims.
That's a good fight.
Sims said he was ducking him.
Kenneth Sims did. Yeah, Kenneth Sims, he was active, and ESPN even mentioned it too. So that's another thing they were candid about. They were like, he didn't take the Barboza didn't take the
I think Barboza needs to develop some type of power. Like, he obviously hits with a decent pop, but he shouldn't be looking to take decisions with all these guys. Like, he puts punches together. I don't know what it is. Is he's not sitting on his shots all the way, or he got to dig into the body more, but
yeah, I mean, the point. I mean, we all know. I mean, he ended Alex Saucedo's career with his punches, so it's like
that's what I'm saying. Like, but he need to. I'm not saying he need to just end everybody's career like he Akuma or somebody. Like, yeah, but like put more damage on opponents to where they're not doing the whole Lamont Peterson, Danny Garcia late round rally on you.
Right.
And I think they're setting up obviously Teofimo versus Barboza next.
Yeah. I think Barboza mentioned he felt some sort of way of, you know, Teofimo and his father looking at him like, you know, he's like one of them little niggas, like, you know, this is just a warm up for me. Like,
and that'll be the best version of Barboza you'll ever get against damn Teofimo.
Right, right.
Because you can tell he's one of those guys who just seems like he'll give you that good B+. He'll give you that good B game against everyone. But you give him somebody with a little danger, a little threat to him, a Saucedo or somebody or a Teofimo, and it's like the punches, everything just works out better for him.
Yeah, he'll fight a hell of a lot harder. Like,
yeah.
You know, but yeah, it was just thing. It's like, damn, like, you know, and like, I mean, at no point of that fight did Zorrilla even look like he. Oh no, I mean, Zorrilla was rocked a couple of times, but he didn't look like he was getting ready to be taken up out of there. That was the one thing, but it was just more like Zorrilla could have really made that fight interesting if he had just let his hands go more, because he had the power. He was rocking them, you know, enough to know that Barboza was just like, it was like, Barboza was, you know, boxing more because he didn't really want to go into a war with Jude until like the last 2 or 3 rounds, you know. But you know, it was a solid fight, and like I said, Barboza up the 140 ladder. Like I said, I mean, Barboza is still a solid contender at 140. like I said, he'll give a top fighter or champion a good fight, but himself is just but his abilities like just seem like they're just straight up and down. Sometimes you don't need to be physically like superior in one aspect. You don't need to have like a super right hand or a work rate out of this world or a steel chin or whatever. I think you get what you see with them, and I can appreciate that type of a fighter. But yeah, like LB said, man, you got to stop some of these guys at least some of them.
You can't have too many rounds on your career, man. And especially if you're a puncher. But Barboza Jr., I think he's a guy with maybe if you put the proper training strategy or something around him, he could start getting into more of a Jamel Charlo, Lee Wood type of vibe where like he's beating you up more. Like he's really like, cause Lee Wood and Jamel Charlo, they dig their shots into you, like,
right, and
they punch at the same clip the whole fucking fight,
right.
Like that's the type of shit he should be on, cause he has the athleticism, the size for it. Like
he do
good stamina. Like he should be more like I don't know, kind of like how people look at it like Anthony Joshua. Like soon as he gets to Robert Garcia, it's like we're like, damn, okay, you got someone who's offensive minded, who's gonna be like, hey, look, you need to beat this dude ass, like.
Right, and especially like Moran, as I said, had actually been. I mean, Moran was one punched by Devin Haney unconscious, or in the bushes, and Saucedo was stopped by Maurice Hooker. It's like, granted, what he did to Saucedo is bad. He's probably even worse maybe than scoring a knockout. But it's just like, like those two were probably he was probably set up to try to get some sort of knockout on them, at least one of them.
Yeah.
But like I said, solid fighter, solid fight. Like I said, just hopefully that whatever opportunity he gets next, he does put it together. Because like I said, when once all these 140 belts, once the rest of the 140 belts become free, he may actually be in line for a shot. But you don't want the section boss to be like, this guy's he's not scoring enough knockouts for us, man. Let's go with like number 4 or whatever. Like dude's boxing the struggle, but he hits hard. So let's give him a shot. Maybe he might have a shot. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. Because honestly, that's how some of this shit works in boxing. It's sad to say. It was a good fight though. I liked it. It was just like Zorrilla though. Like he could have had that fight. We just let his hands go. Look at you say. He's gonna have to go back to the drawing board or whatever. And I was kind of disappointed because it was just like, you do all this in the last 2 rounds, but you don't do all this shit in the other 8 rounds. Like, come on, guy. Like, get your head in the game. Like, titles on the line. You try to get this money or not? Throw something. This is boxing pretty much. He's not the first like young fighter that we say this to. He's not going to be the last. Trust. Salute Henny God. I see you tapped in. Salute. See you there.
Salute. What it do, Henny God?
Yeah.